Hi YouTubers, I'm back and today is a collection video looking at my Gamecube collection. Now, I have a relatively modest Gamecube collection of about 62 games, and a majority of those are exclusives to a system. I tend to, well, I'm not trying to get every single exclusive on the Gamecube, but I am getting all the exclusive games that interest me. And I've got a few games that are on multiple systems as well, which again I got them for a Gamecube because the games I like more than anything else really. There are about, I would say, about another 20 games that I'm after on my want list, and there tend to be some of the, well, there's a few common titles still, but also a few titles that are more expensive and harder to find, like the Fire Emblem game and Star Fox Assault and Ikaruga and things like that really. But I do have a few, a few rarities here as well, a few hidden gems. So hopefully, there'll be some titles that try to make it a bit more horizontal, a bit of slant. Yeah, so hopefully I'll have a few games that will be of interest to you guys more than anything else really. So let's make a start. Okay, I'll try to do this alphabetical order. The first game is it's a nice snowboarding game. For some reason, I'm not quite sure why. Actually, I think it did at some point. SSX, did that come to the GameCube? I can't remember now. But one game which is a good snowboarding game, I think it did in the end, but I'm not sure. But anyway, another good snowboarding game for a system, which I think could be exclusive to a system more than anything else, is because I got the SSX games on PS2 anyway, but is 1080 Avalanche. I do like the snowboarding games, so I'm quite pleased to have that. This game, I don't think it's an exclusive one. It's just a soccer game which I picked up for quite cheap, so I thought I'd have that on the GameCube too. And that's FIFA World Cup 2002. Nothing remarkable or special about that. I got this one because it includes a demo disc, or demo on the main disc, of Godzilla Destroy All Monsters, so it's a little bit different. And that is Big Air Freestyle, so like I said, it has a demo on it as well. And being a Godzilla fan, that's the main reason why I picked up this title more than anything else really. But it looks okay. I don't know if it's like anything like Excite Bike or anything, but it looks alright. This game is a good volleyball game. The controls are a little bit difficult to master first of all, but once you do have control of it, you've got used to the controls, I would say it's it's a fun game. It's not quite as good as Ditto Live Beach Volleyball, but it's in the same league, and that's Beach Spikers. Okay. I'm not sure why they got a picture, well, mostly a woman's top, but I do know why, but it's a bit not very imaginative, is it? Okay, okay, one of the Bloody Roar series, and that's Bloody Roar Primal Fury. And Beyblade V-Force, based on the anime. I do have another Beyblade game on the PS1, I believe. This game I do have on the PS2 as well, but it's nice to have it on the GameCube because it's such a good game, and that is Burnout. Okay, this is Buffy the Vampire Slayer Chaos Bleeds. Completed this. It's a good game. I think I prefer the first Buffy game that came out on the Xbox, to be perfectly honest, but this is still a good game in itself, and obviously it's on multiple consoles as well, so you can get on the PS2 as well. Okay. I'm having to get all the Call of Duty games on the GameCube actually, but this is one of them. I think it's another one or two I still need to get, and that's Call of Duty. This is the Finest Hour. Well, I know Call of Duty Big Red one you can get on the GameCube too, so I hope to get that. Classic game, Crazy Taxi, obviously from a Dreamcast. Okay, a surprising, a fair number of Mickey Mouse stroke Disney type games that came out on the GameCube. I think it's about 5 in total, and I've got 4 of them. There's another one, I think it's called like Mickey Mouse and the Magical Mirror or something like that, whatever it is. But this is, which I will get, but this is one of them, Disney Sports Football. And I think in the States you've probably got another one like baseball or something, I should imagine as well. Then there's Disney Hide and Sneak. And that's actually a Capcom game. So, yeah, I was more than pleased to pick that up. And then there's Disney Party. And then Disney Sports Skateboarding. Okay, there was a couple of Donkey Konga games that came on the system. I do have them also with the actual bongos themselves, but these are loose copies. So it's Donkey Konga. And Donkey Konga Jungle Beat. Racing game that also came out on the PS2, which I will hope to get on the PS2. It's based on the Sylvester Stallone movie, and that's Driven. So it's a bit of a Formula 1 type game. This game, it's not a bad game actually. It's one of the better Matrix games that came out. It's Enter the Matrix. I think some people criticise it for controls and so forth, but actually I think it's not a bad game, and definitely if you like the Matrix, you know, this is highly recommended. There's another Matrix game as well that came out with Path of Neo or whatever it was called, and I started playing that, and the controls were just so repetitive and tedious. So this is one of the better Matrix games out out there. Okay, this other game is exclusive to a system. It's got a lot of high praise and so forth. Haven't had a chance to play it yet, but I will do at some point. And that's Eternal Darkness. There's a lot of time travelling and dealing with sort of supernatural, I think. Okay. I think this is the only Final Fantasy game that came out on the system, and it has Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. You can get a box version of this that also comes with a multi-tap or whatever it is, but I was just happy just to have a standard disc copy, to be honest, really. Yeah, I think it's like a multi-tap or some sort of system where you can connect several Game Boy SPs to it or something, so obviously that's for multiple people who want to all play at the same time. This one came in the GameCube, an old GameCube box. It's not actually a game, it's an accessory, and I do have a Game Boy player attachment on the bottom of my black GameCube. But this is the Game Boy player, and you know, I do have the actual box for the Game Boy player as well somewhere. But this is up there just for the disc bit, and that's at hands. You know, should I want to play GameCube games, Game Boy Advance games on the GameCube. No, I don't really need to do that so much these days, because obviously I've got the Retron 5, so if I want to play it on a 10, it's the easiest way of doing it more than anything else, really. Okay, okay, I'll show you the demo that came out with that bike game, and this is the original game, Godzilla Destroy All Monsters. This is a good, solid monster beat 'em up, one of the best Godzilla games out there. Much superior to ones that came out on the NES and stuff, so. Okay. A classic on the GameCube, Luigi's Mansion. I don't think I need to say anything about Luigi's Mansion. We all heard of it, and you know, it's definitely a must-have. I do have to get the sequel on the 3DS at some point, but it's still keeping its money at the moment. So I'm hoping to see it a little bit cheaper at some time. But I'm not desperate. Then there's some of the Mario games. Mario Power Tennis. Mario Golf. I know Mario games are, you know, they're all good, but the Mario sports games are superb. They really are, and especially the golf ones. You know, you may think golf's tedious, but actually with Mario ones they're not. They really are good fun. So I recommend getting them for whatever system, whether it's you know, the SNES or whatever else. Just get it. Okay, then the Mario Smash Football. And of course, you know, you have to have the old Mario Kart Double Dash. I'm not too keen on the Mario Party game, so I don't bother collecting any of those for any of the systems. But I do. I picked up Super Mario Sunshine. I guess it's like the precursor to Super Mario Galaxy. Okay, one Metal Gear game came out on the system. Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes. It's shown on the old telly. Quite a rare game. It's a good solid. Well, I guess it's like you know, the original Metal Gear sort of story really. It's sort of remade, I suppose, for a GameCube. I'm not quite sure why it only came out on the GameCube, but because it did, it's quite a collectible game. So Metal Gear Twin Snakes. Okay, a couple of Metroid games came out on the system. Metroid Prime, which I think was the first 3D Metroid game. And then there's Metroid Prime Echoes as well. Okay, this next game is, I do believe it's exclusive from the GameCube. It's a basketball game, NBA Courtside 2002. I got it because it was cheap, and I said I think it's an exclusive, and it's good to have, you know, basketball games on the system. Alright, here's another Capcom game that came exclusively on the GameCube. It's product number 3. It's like some sort of sci-fi type action adventure. I guess it's trying to be a bit like, I don't know, it's trying to be a bit like Perfect Dark maybe, or maybe a bit stealthy, maybe a bit like Metal Gear as well. I don't know, but it's Capcom, so that's again the main reason why I picked it up more than anything else. Okay, now Resident Evil. I think probably aside from the original PS1 games, which I loved, the GameCube games, the Resident Evil GameCube games are pretty much a must-have. They took, you know, they looked at that, a lot of the original PS1 games, and then just upscaled the graphics and made them so much better. I haven't had a chance to play all these. I did play all the ones on the PS1, but I haven't had a chance to play them on the GameCube, which, you know, I got to at some point, haven't I? And I know some of these titles have been released again on the high definition, on download, or on Japanese hard disks and so forth. And I do have a couple of those on the PS3, and I hope to get another one quite soon. I think they remade the original game, Resident Evil HD on the PS3, and we can get a hard copy from Japan, which I will get at some point. But anyway, back on the GameCube, and start off with Resident Evil 0. Then Resident Evil Codex Veronica. I do believe that came out on the, I think it was Dreamcast first of all. And then it's original Resident Evil. Now these next two games I picked up, they're both sealed, and there was quite a large number of them available at the time in GameStation. when Game Station used to exist. And they're all going for about £10 each, they were. So it's like Resident Evil 2, all sealed, and Resident Evil Nemesis, all sealed, factory sealed. And for some reason I don't think they're sold that well, which I find it completely bizarre, because these games are so highly sought after now. And again, you know, they must have sort of systems, so I guess it sort of shows the fact that, you know, there wasn't a lot of love for a GameCube when it was out, was there really? And it's only, you know, afterwards that, you know, it's grown in popularity, which is a shame because it's a bloody good system. But yeah, so I've got all those are nice and sealed, and I probably will open them up. Oh, I don't like opening sealed games, especially if they're quite collectible, but you've got to play them at the end of the day, and at the end of the day, you know, apart from yourself, who actually gives a toss if you open a sealed game at the end of the day? If you enjoy it, you play it. I've got no plans to ever selling it, have I, while I'm alive, so what difference does it actually make, even though I might devalue it a little bit? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, but I think if you've got a sealed game, and it's, you know, and you haven't got it in another format, unless you've got another way of playing it, it's a shame not to play it. You know, you can play it on emulation, okay, fine. But, I don't know, I just think some games you need to open and play if you can, and if you can, by all means, if you know, if it's a rare game you can get a multiple copy or borrow someone else's copy, by all means, that makes sense, but I think it's a shame not to play, you know, some games, keep them sealed forever, so. Okay, as you know in my videos, I do have lots of sealed games, and that's not necessarily because I want to keep them sealed all the time, it's probably because I've got so many other games to play I can just focus on the ones that are already opened, so anyway. Alright, this one is a preview disc. I'm not sure, it came out in the States. It's a preview disc for Resident Evil 4, and it includes a playable demo. So that's, you know, being a Resident Evil fan, that's the main reason why I picked it up more than anything else really. So that's for Resident Evil 4 demo disc. And I don't know if that came out with GameStop or where. Then obviously there's, you know, the Resident Evil 4 itself. And this game is not too expensive to pick up. It's, you know, it's quite relatively common. They also brought out, again, I don't know if this was which shop brought this out, but they brought out a sort of special box copy as well in the UK. It's just like a slip sleeve. That's the only difference from anything else really. So, being a Resident Evil fan, like I said, I've got to have that. And then Resident Evil 4 also came out in a special tin edition in America. So this is like the NTSC version. It came with a mini strategy guide. I say mini strategy guide. It's just like an introduction to characters. It doesn't tell you what to do in the game or anything really. It's I think it's like more like a promotion to encourage you to actually buy the strategy guide itself really. And then it came with a special limited edition card of Leon, with a certificate, and then there is obviously the game itself. Now, this game also was released later on the PS2, and I do believe the PS2 version is slightly superior. Obviously I do have it on PS2, but I also have the American Steelbook edition on the PS2, which I believe came out with another card of the main female character. I can't remember her name now. You know who I mean. The name escapes me. Oh God. So is it something Wong? Something Wong, I think. I'm sure her name, but I can't remember the first name. It just escaped me. Anyway, you know what I mean. I'll probably show it when I do a PS2 collection video at some point, which may not be for a while because I've still got quite a few PS2 games I want to get, and I do have a humongous PS2 collection. I must have about 600 games on the PS2, so that will probably be about a 4 or 5 part video. So anyway, okay, going back to GameCube again. I'm sorry for digressing. I have a Again, these aren't exclusive to a GameCube, they're not rare games, but they are very good games. I've got them on the PS2 too. And that's Spider-Man, obviously based on a movie. And these are some of the best Spider-Man games. Spider-Man 2, again, based on a movie. So, you know, they were very cheap, so I thought, get them while they are cheap. Okay, this is a Sonic game. I think it's exclusive to a GameCube. It's based on, it's a sequel to the the Dreamcast game, and that is Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Okay, this game came out on the multiple platforms, and depending on which platform you get will depend on which additional bonus character you get. If you get on GameCube, you get Link, and so you know, you probably already guessed what I'm talking about, and that is Soul Calibur 2. Okay, there's 2 Star Fox games on the system. The Star Fox Assault is a harder to get one, it's more expensive, which I hope to get at some point, but the more common one is Star Fox Adventure. I think the reviews are very mixed on this game. I haven't played it, so I don't know. I can't say what. Yeah, I can't say. Okay, I've got a few Star Wars games. A good game. What's good about Star Wars games? Obviously, they're brought out by LucasArts, and the majority of them are relatively good games. Some of the games that came out on the PS1 weren't so good, admittedly, but I think all the ones on the GameCube and PS2, I don't think there's a lot to criticise really. So Star Fox Bounty Hunter. Okay, this one was a special preview disc of the Star Wars Rebel Strike Rogue Squadron 3 game, and it includes a special playable demo of the original Star Wars arcade game. And it doesn't come with a manual, it just comes with a disc and a box. And so if you want to play Star Wars arcade on the console, this is how you can do it. Obviously you can play emulated copies of it, but it's nice to have it on the GameCube. So that was for Star Wars Rogue Squadron 3, and prior to that was Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2, and obviously the game itself, Star Wars Rogue Squadron 3. Again, these are extremely good games. You know, they're must-have to have on the system if you like. Obviously, if you like Star Wars, but if you've got a GameCube collection, I'm surprised anyone would not have those in their collection. Okay, quite popular. The first Super Smash Brothers to come out, I think. I don't think it came out on SNES, did it? Or did it? Can't remember now. Anyway, Super Smash Brothers Melee. Oh, we can't remember if it came out on SNES or not, or Nintendo 64. Did it come out on Nintendo 64? I don't know. Let me know if it did come out on Nintendo 64 or not. I might actually have a game. I can't remember now, but certainly the GameCube one's the one that most people will know. Okay. Alright, The Legend of Zelda now. Okay, before I show you the games, I do have a Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, I think it's Wind Waker, box GameCube, all complete. I think it comes like with Legend of Zelda. I think it's on the badge on the top of the GameCube itself. I can't remember on the top of my head, or it's just a box. I can't remember now. It's up in the loft, and I've been trying to find it for a while, but I've got so much crap up in my loft. It's full up to the rafters. I will have to sort out one day, and I've got about 95% of my game stuff down here now. But there's still a few hidden bits, including that GameCube, up in the loft. I also have a GameCube box, a copy of a Metroid Prime GameCube as well as just 2 standard black GameCubes. But yeah, I do have that Legend of Zelda one up in the loft somewhere. But here's the game, The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, and this comes, you know, this is a limited edition, which Includes a 2-game bonus disc. And then there's a Player's Choice Edition as well. The reason why I got this, I actually picked this up all complete for about £4 in a charity shop about 2 years ago. And that's a bloody good price for this game, as you know. And I was going to sell it, but then I thought, well, I actually haven't got the Player's Choice. All I got is the standard one, which was a limited edition, so I thought, well, I have that version as well. I could have sold it for about £16 or £17, but I thought, no, I'll keep it, you know. And then this is for a promotional disc that came out with came out with one of the consoles, I think, or did it come out with a game? I can't remember now how it came out, but I bought it separately a few years back, and I can't remember what I paid for it. But it's a promotional disc, in all 4 classic games, and it is sealed. And fortunately, I think all these games, these promotional games, you can play in other mains quite easily. So it's like original Legend of Zelda and Legend of Zelda 2 and Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask and so forth. So I might just end up playing those games in other formats to save opening this copy. So if it was the case I couldn't play those games in any other format, then I would open a copy eventually. But I think I would just play those on the original NES, on the Retron 5 or the Nintendo 64 or whatever. Okay, The Legend of Zelda 4 Sword Adventures. This is like a multiplayer game. I think there is a single player campaign too, but they always say it's best to play it as a multiplayer because that's what it was primarily designed for, so you can link up. I think you can link up 4 Game Boy Advances to your GameCube or something and play it that way. Which would be quite wild to see, actually. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Okay, then there's this game came out on the Wii, and they also brought out a GameCube edition of the game, and it's that version that's worth more than anything else, really. It shot up in value quite quickly, shortly after it came out, and I picked this up, must have been about a year or 2 after it came out, and even then I paid about £27 for it, and now, I don't know what it goes for now, but it's probably a lot of money, and that is the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess on the GameCube. And to be honest, I think I would rather play it on the GameCube as opposed to a Wii. Okay. Right, this next game I only picked up because I saw it cheap, and I'm a fan of Lord of the Rings, and I hope to get the other 2 games on the by EA, which is the Two Towers and Return of the King, and that's the Lord of the Rings series, and this one's the Third Age. I do have these also on the Xbox and PS2, so I do love my Lord of the Rings games, and those are actually quite good games. Okay, Simpsons, again I saw this cheap, and it's one of the better ones. It's the Simpsons Hit and Run. Okay, this game I got because I picked up last year in a charity shop. I don't know, it wasn't a charity shop, it was Cash Converters. For about, I think it's £5, was a flight controller stick for the GameCube. And I've never seen one before, and I thought, oh, that's good, what do I play with it? I guess I might have been able to play Star Wars Rebel Squadron with it, but I thought, I know, I'll pick up the classic Top Gun combat zones to use it with. Okay, last 2 games. Again, it's not a rare game or a valuable game, but it's a nice wrestling game. And I think it's good to have a wrestling game on every system you have, and that is WWF, or is it WWW? Yeah, WW WrestleMania X8. To all times there, I don't know. And this last game, I'm not too sure it actually came out on PS2. It may be a GameCube exclusive. It's It's a bizarre game. It's based on a theme park, and it's Universal Studios Theme Park Adventure on the GameCube. I haven't given it a try actually, so I don't know if it's any good or not. But it's got the Back to the Future car on it. It's got Jurassic Park, and it's got E.T. So if nothing else, I think those are good reasons to try to give it a go. I mean, if you can. I think one of the things you can control the Back to the Future car on it, which I think that's what's showing there. I think that's the case. So if you can do that on it, I think it's worth having, definitely. Okay, that's it, guys. That is my GameCube collection. Like I said, it's only 62 games. There are about another 20 games I hope to get at some point, and when I've completed those, picked all those up, which may be in the next couple of years, I will do another video, obviously, completing that. But for now, that's my GameCube collection. There's a few gems there, I think, and a few common titles. But I think the GameCube is a good console to have, to pick up. But my main love is still for the PS2, and I do like the original Xbox too. So, but obviously, there's lots of exclusives on the GameCube which you can't have on those systems. So it's, if you're a gamer, you have to have a GameCube, I think, as well, haven't you, really? Okay, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and until the next one, bye.